Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to build a simple e-commerce application in just a few minutes using Clean Architecture and Bloc. All the code is available for free via the link in the description. Let's start by creating a new Flutter project and adding our dependencies. For now we only need Flutter block. We'll follow Clean Architecture principles and separate our functionality into layers. Let me create the folder structure with features folder, inside it products folder, and inside products we'll have 3 layers: data, domain, and presentation. We'll also create a core folder for shared classes. I always start with the domain layer and create entities first. Our main entity is product, so let's create it with ID, title, description, image URL, and price fields. Notice that I'm using int for price instead of double, because I'll store the price in cents to avoid floating point precision issues. Before creating the repository, let's create our core classes that will be used throughout the app. First, the either class. Its purpose is to allow us to return 2 possible data variants from a method. For example, in case of an error, it returns error data, and in case of success, it returns the needed data. This class has standard codes that you can either write yourself or import from the Darts library, but I usually write it myself. The logic is simple. We have one abstract either class and 2 classes inherit from it, each implementing the fault method differently. I will also create a failure class with one abstract class and a couple of child classes. Now let's create our abstract repository in the domain layer. We need only one method to get the list of products. The return type is either, we just created. The first variant is failure and the second is a list of products entities. Now let's create the last element of the domain layer, the use case. Here everything is simple. We create a regular class that has our repository as a variable. It has only one method and its task is to call the needed code from our repository. You might think there is no point to it, but in reality this is a very important element that makes work and testing easier when scaling. Now let's move to the data layer and start with the repository. Don't confuse this with repository from domain. The difference is that the repository in the data layer is an implementation of the repository of domain. In this video, we'll return a pre-prepared list of products, and in the next parts we'll connect this to the server side. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. I manually add products and pass all needed fields. Since we have ready products, I will simulate loading time from the server for 1 second, then return our products. Now it's time to start working on the state manager. I'll start by creating the state. I use one class for state, so to track status, I declare an enum with initial, loading, success, and error values. I add this enum to state class. Additionally, I add an error message and a list of products. To change the state, I add a copy with method. Now I will create events. We need only one event for products, just to load them. Now let's create the block itself. Notice that it takes the use case, not a repository. Here everything is standard. I declare a constructor, inside it I handle events. For processing events, I create a separate method. The logic is as follows. First, we set the loading status. After that, we call our use case. And here's the most interesting part. We use the fault method from either and must handle both result variants. If we get a left value, which is an error, we simply change our state and status. And if it's a right value, we also change the state but with a different status and pass the list of products. We've almost finished writing the products feature and we only need to write the screen. I will use stateful widget so I can use the initState method. In this method, I will call the event to load the list of products. Then simple layout. In body, I pass the block builder and here you need to be careful. I'll return different widgets depending on the state. For example, if it's currently loading, I'll return a loading indicator in the center. If it's an error status, I'll return an error text with a button for retry. Or if the product list is empty, I will not just return an empty screen, but will return corresponding text. In all other cases, I'll return our product through grid view. We'll have 2 rows and 16 pixel spacing between elements. We don't have a product widget yet, so let's create it. It will take our product entity. The layout is simple here, so I won't go into detail. We have a regular container with rounded corners and shadow. Inside it, we have a column, and I use expanded so elements stretch automatically. I display the product image by URL, then the product title and price. Below that, I have a button for adding to cart. I will show a snack bar when adding to cart. Here's what we have so far. It already looks pretty good, but we don't have a cart, so let's implement it. Cart is a new feature, so I create a new folder with the same 3 layers. I start as usual with the entity. I create a cart item which will store the product and its quantity. My cart will essentially consist of a list of such items with their quantities. I also implement a copy with method so we can easily change the quantity of items. Moving to the repository, we need a method to get the list of items from cart, method to add to cart, method to remove from cart, and method to clear items from cart. After finishing with the repository, I move to creating use cases. Nothing unusual here either. I just call the needed method from the repository and return the result. But I will also create a use case for calculating the total sum of all products. For this, I get a list of all items and add them all using fold method. Now let's move to repository implementation. For the first part, I will store items simply in RAM, meaning when restarting the app, they will not be saved. In the next videos, I'll replace this with Firebase. Now I move to implementing methods. The logic is as follows. If the item I want to add is already in the cart, I just increase its quantity. If it's not there, I create a new one. Removing an item is also simple, I just remove it from the list by ID. Same with clearing the cart. Here I just return the list. We've finished with data and domain layers. Now let's move to the presentation layer. Let's start with the block. In state, I add status, error message, and list of cart items. I will also add a getter for whether the cart is empty, and of course a copy with method. Now events. We need events for loading cart, adding items, removing items, and clearing the entire cart. Now let's move to block implementation. Here the list of use cases is passed standardly. Then I handle each event. Look how you can use the fold method in a nested way. If items loaded successfully and the cart is empty, I set the corresponding status. And if the cart is not empty, then I call the next fold for the calculating the total cart sum. Yes, it looks confusing, but in reality everything is simple here. I also register other events. Here I use slightly different approach. I call the use case but don't track fold and don't change state. In state, for example, after adding an item to cart, I manually call the event so the cart loads again. That's it, we just need to write the cart screen, and here what I got. Here I also load items in the initState method. Then I have an up bar with a button for clearing the cart. In body I have a block builder that returns needed widgets depending on status. If the cart is not empty, I return a list view and below it I display the total sum and payment button. For now it just clears the cart and show a message, but in the next videos I plan to connect Stripe for payments. And here's how cart item widget looks. We wrote the cart feature but didn't connect it to our first screen. Let's do this right now. First I will add a button for going to cart. I will also display the number of items in the cart. and in the product cart I will add an event for adding to cart. Now let's add dependency injection using getIt. I will install this package and run pub-get. In the core folder, I'll create a method where I register only the classes starting from the top layer. Now in main.dart file, I call this method. After that, I run the application. It's simple material app. It's important not to forget to add our blocks. Our application is ready. We've created a simple e-commerce application with clean architecture structure, block for state management, cart functionality, beautiful UI, and proper dependency injection. In the next videos, we'll connect Firebase for data persistence, integrate Stripe for payments, and add user authentication. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the continuation. The application is ready for scaling, and it's easily testable. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.